What's good, y'all? I already know where y'all at. It's your boy Star Jones, and it's a new episode of Star Views. It's about to start right now. So please, I hope you got your hookah ready, and I hope you got your cups full of whatever ready, because I got a lot to talk about, alright? Know what's going on. Star Jones, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Please and thanks, you heard? What's good, folks? It's your man Star Jones, and we back, man. Another episode of Star Views, the final episode for the month of May. And we're halfway through the year, folks. We're quickly approaching June. Again, everybody knows June is the 6th month of the year. So we halfway through, man. I think so far this year, we've seen a lot. At this point this year to date, is a lot better as far as movies versus 2021. I think year to date in 2021, there wasn't as many good movies. So 2022 is actually doing pretty good. I've seen a lot of good movies this year. So I'm excited to see what the rest of the year should bring. I think the Star View Awards at the end of the year is going to be interesting because it's a lot of big time movies that are coming out that we haven't seen yet. So I think it's going to be kind of interesting. But as always, like, subscribe, comment, tell me if you agree or disagree with what I do on this episode. Tonight we will be talking about a sequel that was 30 plus years in the making. We recently had the trailer reaction for it. Top Gun Maverick. The first Top Gun actually came out in 1986. So again, do the math. I mean, damn near 30 years, if not already 30 years. 96, 2006, 2016. Yeah. You know, 30 something years in the making. So it's been a long time coming. Tom Cruise is back. We got a whole bunch of young stars in this film that we've seen plastered all over Hollywood. Their resumes are pretty long. Jerry Bruckheimer's back and kind of assisted with the production here. So, yeah, Top Gun. We're going to be back in 2 seconds. We're going to actually talk about what transpired in the film, a little bit of the overview, and then lastly, like always, we're going to give a grade and tell you what I like about it, what I dislike about it, and whether or not you should see it. Alright, so I'll be back in 2 seconds. See you back, folks. Y'all already know. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all got your drinks and all that. I'm actually recording this on Memorial Day. So, by the time you guys see this, the weekend is over. And hopefully y'all had a good time, man. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all enjoyed your weekend. It was nice, smooth. Y'all got some burgers and all that. I hope y'all didn't eat too many glizzies. But, yeah, I hope y'all had a good time. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. What transpired in the film? Again, as I mentioned, Top Gun Maverick takes place 30 plus years from the events of Top Gun. So Top Gun is pretty much this school for naval aviation aviators, aka pilots. There is a distinction between Air Force pilots and naval pilots. I did not know that. Part of my ignorance to the pilots out there. I just thought if you were a pilot, you were in the Air Force. But no, it's not true. You actually have naval aviators, and that's what we have in the Top Gun films. All our characters are naval aviators for the most part, past and present, current, retired. In some capacity, they flew jets. So the first film, again, took place back in '86, and that's when we were first introduced to Tom Cruise's character of Maverick. And we fast forward into this film, again, 30 plus years later, and we see Maverick. He's still doing his thing. He's still a pilot, but he's at this point in his career where the Navy don't really rock with him too much. They don't really like him too much. If you see in the first film, he's very much a rebel. I would say he's selfless, and because he's selfless, like he was always willing to sacrifice himself for his teammates. You know, his wingmen in the air, all that type of shit. So the Navy is kind of sick of him at this point. He didn't want to take any promotions. He didn't want to take, and he couldn't get many promotions just because of his resume, which was a good resume. It's just his attitude. The Navy just didn't really like his attitude. For anybody that knows anything about military, they don't like people that have a lot of back talk. They don't like people that back talk. He has a lot of back talk. Talks back a lot. So Maverick, again, we see him a long time. He's aging up. And in the opening scene, when you see him working on this like futuristic, modern day, I guess you want to call it, the future of fighter pilots, speed, as far as speed goes. So this particular ship that he's riding in is designed to go Mach 9 or Mach 10. It's designed to go Mach 10, but according to, I guess, the record books and science, nothing can really travel that fast. So he's in this new ship, and he ends up, spoiler, he ends up going 10.4 Mach 10.4, which was extremely fast, supersonic speed, and he ends up crashing, and he gets in trouble for it because he wasn't supposed to go up in that ship and push it to the limits that he did, because again, this particular plane rather was very expensive, and the Navy wasn't really too comfortable damaging it because Maverick wanted to push it to its limits. So this is what puts him in this final dilemma with the Navy, and it was kind of like, well, if you fuck up again, pardon my French, you're out of here. So he was tasked to go to Top Gun, which I didn't completely explain. Top Gun is this place for naval aviators to compete to be the #1 pilot in the Navy. Like, you go there, you learn some things, but ultimately it's a competition to be the #1 pilot. And based on that, you will get tasked to do certain missions, things like that, and then you're well known, you're recognized, it's bragging rights, things like that. So that's Top Gun. So he was tasked to go to Top Gun because this mission has come up where, and I may have missed it, but this foreign country has uranium or something like that, and they're going to use it for mass destruction. So the U.S. Navy is tasking 6 fighter pilots to go there to stop this plan from that foreign country from happening. But it's kind of a suicide mission just because of the layout of the land where the site is at. It's in between a mountain, and the terrain is different. They call it bandits. You got bandits that's flying around and securing a facility. You also have SAM turrets for those who play Call of Duty. Y'all know what those are. Those are pretty much the missiles that are mounted on a mountain or some type of field, plane, something, etc. And their job is to pick up things in a certain airspace and shoot it down. So pretty much Maverick has to teach all these young naval pilots who are good at what they do, best where they are, they rank really high in the country and are respected around the world, and have to train them for this mission. So that's pretty much the movie. It's pretty much Maverick teaching these kids who are super cocky because they're the best at what they do, and he has to kind of get through to them so they can listen, so they can get their guard down and try to get this suicide mission done without anybody losing their lives. Yeah, so that's the movie. I thought I was going to give y'all a lot of spoilers, but I don't think I'm going to have to. I don't think there's any spoilers on this episode. So yeah, I'll be back. I'm going to let you know how I feel about the film, whether it was valid or not, whether you should see it, and, you know, ultimately what I graded. So I'll be back in 2 seconds. So we're back, folks. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's the best part of the show where we actually talk about how I feel about the film, whether or not you guys should see it, if I like it, if there's any pros and cons, things like that. So right out the gate, this movie, like I said, I keep mentioning it to you because I think it's important. I know when I talk about movies, I don't like huge time gaps, but for the sake of this film, the 30+ years worked out perfect. Because again, with time gaps as large as this, people kind of lose interest. And if the characters haven't developed a certain way, it kind of ruins the movie. Like you kind of, because we haven't seen Maverick in 30 years. We're kind of thinking to ourselves, what is Maverick doing? So I think this movie did a good job of showing where Maverick was. Maverick, when we last seen him, was this beloved, celebrated naval pilot. But by the time we see him in this film, not so much. You know, he's on thin ice with the Navy. They want to get rid of him, but because his man Iceman from the first film is a commander, Iceman is able to save him every time he gets in trouble. So, okay, spoiler, Iceman is not going to be around much longer. So, and because of that, it kind of puts him in a dilemma. But, yeah. So, it was good to see that time frame, you know, he's not this same celebrated character, and now he's kind of like pitfalling. So that was cool to see. I do like the nostalgia of this film. The opening of the film was the same as the first film. The music was the same from the first film. Even down to the font of the credits was the same as the first film. I thought that was very interesting. I thought that was cool. The fact that they, kept it organic. This movie was also a teaching lesson for me. And as I mentioned in the overview, I didn't know that there were pilots that weren't in the Air Force. So, teaching moment. It's always good to learn something new. You learn something new every day, so I appreciated that for the film, for differentiating the two. So, those who didn't see the first film, Maverick had a co-pilot, so to speak, and Goose. Goose was like his right-hand man. That was his best friend. So in this film, well, if you've seen the first film, you know Goose died. Goose had a son, and now his son's name is Rooster. And Rooster and Maverick have tension because of something that Maverick did to him during his naval journey in his career. So that was another dynamic of the film that was interesting to watch, seeing Rooster interact with Maverick. The tension's there because, again, Goose died because of something Maverick did in the first film. So there's a little bit of resentment there, and then on top of that, because of what happened in the first film, Maverick did something to Rooster's career that I won't violate for y'all. Y'all could actually go see that. But Maverick did something to Rooster, like indirectly, towards his career, and it kind of pissed Rooster off. So there was a lot of tension and a lot of growing and building that had to be done between these two characters. So it was good to see that take place in the film. I definitely enjoyed that. And again, it's like, if you watch the first film, you know, like, damn, how's he going to get through to Rooster when Rooster kind of resents him because of his father's death. So yeah. I think the mission, as I mentioned in the overview, to go to this foreign site and I think the movie did a really good job of, because again, they were in Top Gun, so they had to learn from Maverick how to maneuver and do certain things. A lot of these pilots in the film have never been in a dogfight. So for those who don't know what a dogfight is when you have the planes up in the sky and they're literally fighting each other in the air. A lot of these pilots usually were just on bomb runs. They would just swoop in, go to a particular country, drop bombs, and go about their business. They were never in a situation where they had to really get it on in the air. You know what I'm saying? So to speak. So, but Maverick he's been doing this for 30 years. He's done it several times. I think he had 3 confirmed kills in the air prior to, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but in the world of aviation, that's a lot of kills, confirmed kills in the sky. So I think he was at 3. So that was something that he wanted to teach them, because this particular site, like I said, there was so much security in place that they would have had to eventually get into a dogfight and get it on in the air. So that was cool, and it gave you, I think the pace of the film was perfect. You got 30 minutes you probably got like 15, 20 minutes of Maverick. We're catching up on Maverick, seeing what he's doing. Then we got another hour of them training in Top Gun, getting prepared for this mission, and then you had another 45 minutes of the actual battle, like the actual. And I think that's what sets this film apart from the first film, because you actually had a fight, you actually had a mission. In the first film, Goose died in a training exercise. He didn't die because they was on a mission. No, he died in a training exercise. And I think the stakes wasn't really ramped up in that first film. And I think that's what hurt it. Because when I first heard Top Gun, and I saw the trailers, and I saw the promotion for it, and, you know, scenes from it, I was thinking like, oh, this is some fighter jet shit, and they're going to be in the sky. Wow. Nah, it was, you got a little bit of that in the beginning of the first film, but it didn't hit, and it wasn't enough of it. In this film, we got to see it. Even in the training, it was just so ramped up in this second film, Top Gun Maverick. So again, you got your hour long learning about these characters, these young fighter pilots, their backgrounds a little bit, and then actually seeing them train and go through the hard work that they had to go through, and then you finally had the 45 minutes of that mission. And you felt it. You felt it the whole time. Like, just like an ambulance, how I told you guys it was like a thrill ride the whole way. This was like the same thing, but it's up in the sky. So, yeah, that's a good idea of you know. And then I want to give a shout out to the actors in this film and the actresses in this film. Like, to be a fighter pilot, like, your body has to be different, like, because y'all have been on roller coasters and that whiplash hit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, being in a fighter jet going Mach 9, and that's different kind of speed. To be able to hit these turns in a fighter jet, boom, whipping you around, like, those, you know, I'm big on acting. I appreciate actors a lot. So the fact that they were able to go through and Tom Cruise put them through a rigorous training, the same kind of training that naval officers go through. So when they're up there shooting, they would be able to look organic and they could really, you know what I mean, participate in the roles. So I think that was cool. Shout out to Tom Cruise for putting them through that, and shout out to him for doing that to, you know, make it that much organic in those scenes. And then in Maverick, the character himself is just, he's different. Like, when y'all see the things Maverick does, because again, we didn't really get to see Maverick do nothing crazy in these 30 years. So now his reputation that precedes him, we actually get to see why it's that way. You know, like the maneuvers he was doing up there is retarded. Like, pardon my French, I know I can't say that. But it was just insane. Like, it was really cool. It was so fascinating to watch and to see. So this is a character alone, and Maverick was just so lit. And I can't talk about it enough, but Maverick is the man. If I was in the Air Force, Navy, and he was my wingman up there, I would feel very secure and safe. So that was cool. Something that stuck out that I just questioned throughout the film is, what happened to Charlie? Charlie was his love interest, Maverick's love interest in the first film. But now he has a new shorty. A lot of people from the first film got referenced, or they were mentioned in some capacity. We saw them in some capacity. But Charlie wasn't around, and Charlie was somebody that he was really interested in. That was actually his teacher slash professor in Top Gun in the first film. So that was something that stuck out. Something that was super fire in the film, and this is from my football background. I got so excited when I saw this. I play defense. I play cornerback, for those who don't know. I'm a guy that covers the wide receiver. I played that from Little League all the way up to college and semi-pro. So my job sometimes is to yell out what's happening on the field. I need to let my middle linebacker know, my safety knows what's happening. Crossing, strong left, whatever the case may be, I got to communicate. There was a particular scene in the fight, in the dogfight scene at the end of the film, where they was like, break right, hard left, dive, up. Like, they was, and it was only like 15 seconds, but that shit was so, communication is key in every aspect of life, even in a dogfight. Communication is key, and the fact that they were doing break left, dive, oh, bogey, that's fire. And I think because I was a football player and I was used to doing that, and see how that translated and up there in the air, like, was crazy. I really like that. The ending of the film was very good. Like, they had you on the edge of your seat. You didn't know who was about to die. You didn't know what was going on, and there was a lot of surprises there. So, oh yeah, shout out to my son Hangman. Hangman is one of the naval pilots in the film, and that's all I'm gonna say. All right, I really enjoyed this movie. I don't have any cons so much, so I'm not even gonna mention anything. I'm giving this movie 8.5 stars. Yes! Really good. 2 hours and 11 minutes. You're gonna enjoy it. It's not a waste of bread. It's a good time all the way through. It's funny. It's emotional. It's everything rolled into one, and of course, non-stop action. So 8.5 stars. Make sure y'all check it out. You're gonna love it. All right. So that's my time, folks. Make sure y'all check out Top Gun Maverick if you haven't done so already. Make sure y'all check out my other content on this channel if you haven't done so already. Got a whole bunch for y'all to look at. I will be back in June. Jurassic World Dominion is coming out June 10th. Unfortunately, I will be on vacation on the 10th, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to see that. I'll probably see it as soon as I get back, and, you know, probably drop the episode within a day or two of me returning. I feel bad because, again, I like to put things out within a couple of days of its release, but again, I gotta go on vacation too. You know, I gotta enjoy the fruits of my labor, right? Exactly. So yeah, so that'll be out a few days late, so I apologize. Bear with me. I hope you guys still tune in. And yeah, man. So I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. And again, hope you guys enjoyed your Memorial Day weekend. Hope you guys was safe. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Y'all be good. How y'all be good. Oh, y'all still here? Appreciate y'all for sticking around, man. But I don't got no more hookah. But what I do have is more content on my YouTube channel. So please, if you haven't done so already, hit that red button and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified as soon as I post anything. Alright? And if you haven't already followed me on social media, here's my information. Make sure y'all follow up. Appreciate it. Y'all still here, man. That's valid. Have a good one.